Welcome home, neighbors, to episode 314 of the My DVC Points podcast. Today, we are doing our October monthly recap report, which means we talk about what Disney bought back last month in Right of First Refusal, the average sales prices, what's going on with the supply and demand market curves over at DVC Resale Market, and then some special promotions. In order to help me out and share her wisdom and expertise and just general awesomeness, I'm going to welcome back Miss Dani Messenger to the show.
Hello.
I guess Mrs., right?
Yes.
I forgot you got married on me.
Yeah, and now it's Kohler, but I haven't officially changed the name because we know how that is. It's like it takes forever and a day, and then you can't leave the country. And
oh my gosh, your travel plans just like, you can't not have like a passport ready to go at any given time.
We're going to the Christmas markets in Europe in December. So I was like, I have to at least wait until we get back from that to do any name changes.
Yeah, that's very true. That's absolutely very true. So let's start off this with what happened last month in Disney's Right of First Refusal. Dani, you ready to drop this one on us?
Let's go.
Okay, let's come over here and then we're looking at Right of First Refusal, and this is last month. So
the monster was interesting. One day, like out of the blue, this was like completely out of the blue, I get a message that the monster was just hungry for Animal Kingdom. Like all of a sudden, out of nowhere, slowly the ROFR monster was buying.
ROFR monster wanted to snack on a little giraffe or something. You know what I'm saying?
Don't touch the animals.
So
no, the ROFR monster wanted to go to Jico.
Oh, okay. Jico or Boma. Yeah, I but Boma would have been an all-you-can-eat buffet, so it had to be over at Jico. He just needed a few rounds there, so he had to just keep buying a few meals.
Right? So a bunch of Animal Kingdom contracts got bought back, and it was so weird because it all happened basically in one day. I mean, what was it? 12 Animal Kingdom contracts got bought back in one day.
Yeah, from 16 last month over here to 28 this month.
And the wild thing was, can we take a look at the numbers that they bought back at?
Oh, yeah. So
because this was kind of crazy.
So $130 a point last month.
Like from 103 the previous month.
Now I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit here to like average sales prices. The average sales price was only 110 last month. Like this monster was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs or something.
For Cocoa Puffs. That's what I'm saying. And that's why, people ask us all the time. And look, like we do this all day, every day. So we see these numbers all the time. And usually we can give you a pretty educated opinion on if your contract's going to get bought back or not. But I always like to preface it with, just so you know, like I don't know the ROFR monster personally.
Here, right?
Yeah, there's always going to be those weird scenarios. And so while, maybe you're buying a, Boulder Ridge contract and they haven't bought back Boulder Ridge and who knows how long?
2 years or something. Yeah. It's been forever.
We don't know when all of a sudden the ROFR monster is going to get hungry for Boulder Ridge. So, always keep that in the back of your mind. But
that is just absolutely crazy. $130 last month over at Animal Kingdom was the highest they bought back. And they took 12 contracts.
Yeah. Now, I will say that the other contracts that they bought back were nowhere near that price. So that was just one contract specifically. The other ones were pretty far off of that price.
Yeah, but we're generally interested in the high water mark. So I guess this tells me if you're an Animal Kingdom buyer right now, ROFR monster's out there. Just prepare for it. And, if he comes in and snags your deal, then that's
just have some backup options. Yeah.
Yeah. And the way this works, guys, is I try to explain this every single time. If I were to sell you, the listener, my Animal Kingdom contract, Dani would write it all up between the sales agreement from me to you. And then she has to submit this over to Disney, who has roughly 30 days. Technically, they can go more. They typically don't. But Disney has the right to come back in and say, hey, I'm going to step in as the buyer on the exact terms of that contract. And so we kind of think, generally speaking, the mouse tries to buy the lower end of it and save money. But here, like, they just must have misclicked the wrong one or something. But $130 when the average is 110,
Yeah.
like, that's
But
just crazy.
the nice thing is, and just so you know, if maybe you haven't bought resale before, you don't know exactly how it works, you're going to put an escrow deposit down when you put your offer in, your offer gets accepted. But if your contract does get bought back in ROFR, you get 100% of that escrow deposit back. So the only risk here is really time, the time that
Yeah.
you're losing to wait for a ROFR. So what I always tell people is, if Animal Kingdom is your favorite resort and you want to take that risk, that's totally fine. Just make sure that you have 1 or 2 or 3 other options as a backup, just in case your contract gets bought back.
And the good news is y'all can just like keep my deposit and roll it on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the good news. We don't have to mess around with the deposit paperwork. You already got it. And then just boom, we go out there and we go hunting through the listings for another thing that works.
Yeah.
But 20 days, like,
yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah, they were fast because, like, in September it was 27. We've been seeing
Yep.
them in the upper 20s.
Yep. Yeah, so a little bit faster ROFR time.
Yeah, I wonder if it's because they got new money from a new quarter or something like that. And who knows? Disney's fiscal year starts October 1st, so that could explain them buying back a bunch of stuff too, and just saying, hey, we didn't buy back in September because we didn't want our year-end books, but now we're going after it.
Maybe they're going holiday shopping.
They could be stocking up for the holidays and they have put Animal Kingdom on a little bit of a sale. Mm-hmm. And now that shifted over to Saratoga is the next level of DVC incentives on a sold out resort. So they're going to blow through their inventory there, and then they're going to come back to the resale market and start restocking through their right of first refusal.
Yeah, well, now that we're talking about that, I'd be curious. So right now we have 36 Saratoga listings. I wonder what that's going to look like next month. So let's revisit that next month.
Yeah. But that's kind of the story on right of first refusal. And they didn't take back any more polys. They took back 2 grand flows. And
West.
Yeah. And then Old Key West is a usual suspect.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that Old Key West will probably continue to be picked on because it seems like they're only going for the 2042 resorts and they're leaving the extended Old Key West alone. And it's kind of cleaning up their books in the process. So, because their goal is to get everybody on 2057s. And if they can do it through right of first refusal and selling new ones, it's just even better for them. But yeah. So, okay, let's come back over here and start looking at average sales prices here. And I've got a little bit of nerdy analysis this month. Let me come back in and change my screen share. And we will share over an Excel file that I did.
I love all your nerd reports.
Yeah, don't you though?
I do.
So anyways, it's like I've taken all the data, stripped it all off so that it's numerical in numbers. And you can see this is what we were last month. But I really wanted to come back in and say, hey, month over month, what happened to these guys? So like Animal Kingdom rose $3, but for the year, it's down 7. And so you can kind of see what's in here because some people like looking at it year over year. I tend to like month over month, but however you guys choose to look at the data, you look at the data, it's there. And I'm really happy that this is now up there as an HTML where you can copy it, paste it into Excel, where before you just had to type it all. And because it was put up as a picture. So kudos to those guys for making it an actual table and chart. Here I'm looking at average deviation, like over the last years, how much has each resort varied from month to month? And when I look at this, I can come back in and go, hey, Boardwalk only averages $3.46, deviation a month. And last month was down 5. So it was probably a pretty good time to buy Boardwalk.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can say the same thing over here for Riviera. It normally deviates 342, but it was down $8 last month. So to me, that's like, hey, Riviera is on a little bit of a sale right now, and I would be using that to my advantage if I wanted some more Riviera points And a lot seems like a lot of the resale buyers there already own Riviera and they just want to add on. And
Yeah,
so,
or they own another resort and they just want, some play around points at Riviera.
yeah, yeah. And then the two that Animal Kingdom, we talked about Alani here.
Yeah.
Normally is about a 341 deviation. It's down $7 last month. So I think that's a pretty good deal. Of course, me and Alani, I'm a mega fan, and at some point in time, I'm going to add some more points on there, Dani. I just got to get my other stuff cleaned up. And then the two anomalies that I'm throwing out here are Grand Cal and Poly.
Yeah.
And that's just because of the crazy impact that the new resorts have had on them over the last year. The villas at Disneyland Hotel, and then this new tower that just went on sale is drove the market up on Poly, and it's now finally starting to come back down into reality. So that's just kind of, and I can say the same thing about Grand Cal. Yeah, you got any thoughts there, Dani?
Yeah, you know what actually really surprised me was, remember, I mean, every time we get together, we talk about Bay Lake Tower and how don't sleep on Bay Lake Tower. I remember the first time we talked about Bay Lake Tower, we had about 90 listings for Bay Lake Tower, and it was just like kind of sitting there pretty stagnant. And then you talked about do not sleep on Bay Lake, and all of a sudden the listings just went down. Now we have only 21 listings for Bay Lake Tower. But the really interesting thing is it only went up $1 per point on average.
Yeah, over the course of a year.
Which is like pretty crazy to me because, I mean, not that I want people to pay more money, but per point, but it's like, it's getting a huge renovation. It's a monorail property. You're walking distance from the park. Like, what else could you ask for?
Not only that, but let's come over here and look at this in terms of dues, right?
And
yeah, $7.59. Okay.
Yep.
It's only 2 points or 2 cents higher than the lowest one, which is Grand Flow.
Yeah.
$7.57.
Yeah.
And I do anticipate the dues go up significantly with this new refurb, because what happens is it's at the 14-year mark. So they're going to like rip everything down to the drywall and rebuild the entire resort on the inside from the ground up. And when that happens, they kind of empty out their coffers. And then at the end of it, they look down and it might have had some budget overruns or whatever, but they look at it and go, ooh, we need to build up our coffers again. So the dues take a little bit higher jump than normal after a refurb.
Yeah, but
it's still going to be a good deal.
Yeah, exactly. They're so low. So even if they jump, like they'll just be jumping in line with all the other resorts. And then at least, in the back of your mind, it probably won't get another big jump for a while. So
Yep. So don't sleep on Bay Lake. It rents really well. It's an awesome place to stay. And I can't say enough great things about it. Of course, I'm a huge Copper Creek fan too. I got it.
Yeah.
Shout out to Copper Creek, because 809 is not much more expensive, and it's got the longest life left of any unrestricted classic resort.
Yeah, 2068. Yeah, I mean, that really surprised me. But honestly, just right now around the holidays, if you are thinking about buying, it is a really good time to buy. Things just tend to slow down a bit around this time. So it will be interesting to see what these numbers look like next month. Because I think, we are going to start to see some dips, and then it'll start to go back up again in the new year. But good time to buy.
Yeah, it seems like the last couple of months we were down into the 200s. And
I was just going to say that we were around 280 listings, and now we have 409, which is great. So lots of inventory to choose from.
Yeah, it's slightly up for most resorts. And then, what about Poly, man? That let's put the filter on that thing.
Yeah, gosh,
that is just a crazy little talking point story here.
Yeah, I remember when they started buying back Poly and ROFR. Do you remember that? What is that, 5 months back? All the, ROFR Monster was sleeping on Poly for a while. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they started buying Poly back. And in a day, we went down to 0 Poly listings. And now we're at 96.
Yeah, almost 1 out of 4 of your listings is Poly right now.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, because Disney's marketing the devil out of that property.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good time
But
to buy poly. And if, the nice thing is if you have some extra points laying around that you're not using, poly rents out at $20 a point right now. So
yeah, it's
super
insane.
popular.
It's
You rent out your poly points.
yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at my poly points going, that's the ones that I rent out every year because
Yeah.
they're like the easiest to rent out. I can handle
Yeah.
the Copper Creek. I can book what I want at 7 months with Copper Creek. And then God forbid I do anything other than Disneyland with my Disneyland points. Like that's just heresy right there. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't do that at all. And yeah,
We have
so
one Disneyland, one Disneyland contract.
yeah, I only have one there, but it's a
No,
200
no,
pointer.
we only have one
Oh, you
listed.
only have one.
Yeah.
So, and for a while those weren't moving, and it looks like
Yeah.
now they are. So come back over to this and go Disneyland. And
Yeah, that one actually, it was moving at $150 per point average, and last month it was 185 per point. So pretty big jump there, but we don't really have many to go off of. So
no, and it's still what, 235 direct?
mhm,
Something
I
along
believe
those
so.
lines.
Yeah.
Maybe with some incentives now, somebody could pick that up for what, 220-ish if you're lucky. Maybe
Yeah.
probably 225. They might take 10, $11 off. So that's still a significant savings.
Yeah. And that one has double points.
Double points as well. So there's another $20 right there, of additional savings. So that's a pretty smoking good deal if the average was 184. And you're going to get a double point contract February use year. So you're going to close on that and still have some time to 7-month those out between now and next February. So those are all in 25. So you're going to have a full year to use those points. And yeah, that's a great little contract there.
Oh, we have some friends in the comments.
Yes. So we're getting a comment here from Dapper Vanta Crew. Hey, Chad and friends. And somebody on Facebook is saying, looking forward to seeing y'all next week. And good to see you guys.
Seeing us in person? There. We have our retreat next week.
Yeah, that could be Andy. It could be Sam Chapman. It could be a couple other different people that are coming in next week that I know about.
Awesome.
That are popping in. Normally when like our average core crew comes in, like solid listeners, they send me a note and I try to get it on my calendar to schedule a meetup someplace or, just go up to the top of the world and hang out for a little bit. It's
so fun.
Yeah. I can get to the top of the world. A little reunion. I can get to the top of the world in 20 minutes. So it's including parking. So that's pretty darn fast.
Carissa explains nothing. I love that.
Where do we see that one? Oh, so
I used to love that show. Remember Carissa Explains It All?
Oh, okay.
Did you ever watch that?
No, I haven't.
Carissa Explains Nothing.
But Carissa will be here next week, and we definitely got to get something on the calendar because she's reached out before, and Andy will be here next week as well. So, yes. And you'll probably be in town as well, right, Dani?
I am. Yep.
So, we'll have to figure something out. See if I can figure out a time when you guys have some time off from all of your team meetings and all that other kind of stuff to pop over and say hi to some listeners.
Yes, I would love that.
Yeah. But we've got one last story here this month, and it's this banner right here. So finance with just 500 down.
It's funny. I was seeing a bunch of comments on Facebook like, I wish I could buy a resale contract, but I just can't put the down payment down. And I knew that this was coming. So I just kind of had to sit there. And
well, stay tuned to our site. We might have something for you.
Yeah, just wait a couple minutes. So this is really exciting. We've done similar promotions in the past, but basically this is just going to allow you to get in at, with barely anything down. Did I lose you, Chad?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I'm making you full screen. You're getting the full spotlight, Dani.
I'm like, wow, I just got really big on the screen. So it's going to just give you the opportunity to get in with just a little money down. So $500 down, and you will see these specific listings tagged. You'll see the tag it says finance with just $500 down. Chad, you want to pull that up on the website so we can kind of show them exactly how to find these specific listings?
So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to hit this listings tab right there. You're going to scroll down a little bit. And then where it says status, you're going to drop down and you're going to come back in. And here's all the little special ones. And it says finance with just $500 down. And when we click that button, we see there's 10 contracts available for that right now. And here they are. So lo and behold, a Bay Lake Tower.
So the nice thing is about these, like you will see, these are going to be stripped contracts. They're not going to have points for 2025. But what that does is it brings it down even lower because you're not paying the annual dues for 2025. So the seller is going to cover the annual dues. And then when you're financing the contract, you're not going to have to put more than $500 down. So that's really, really nice. Also, I want to show you, let's click on a listing.
Okay. Well, we've been talking about Bay Lake, so I'm going to Bay Lake.
Let's go to Bay Lake. And then do you see where it says the estimated monthly payment, $528?
Yep.
Go ahead and click that.
Okay.
And then just scroll down. And I love this page. A lot of people don't realize that that button under the make an offer button is actually a button. They just think it just says $528 down, but you can click it just like Chad just did. And then just scroll down some more.
Okay.
So with these, it's going to be the no credit check option, and it's going to be the 12-year with minimum down. So these numbers here in the no credit check option box.
Oh, I see.
And then do me a favor. You see where it says show details? Just right above that. Click that. So this is going to kind of break everything down for you. It's just a really nice way to just see all of the numbers. So that's what the down payment would have been, $3,368. You would have owed at closing $3,893, but in this case, you're only going to owe $500 at closing.
Oh, okay. So now, are these fixed costs, like they're non-negotiable due to the financing, or?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So it's kind of like the buy it now. This is the deal.
Oh, sorry. You can negotiate. No, you can.
Okay.
Sorry, you can. I thought you meant the financing numbers. Yeah, you can negotiate. Just like a regular contract.
Okay, so you might get $1 or $2 off per point on this as well, and come back in, and every little bit helps, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, this is what how many point contract?
133 point.
So that's the price.
Oh no, that's the price per point. Sorry,
250. So if you get $2 off, that's $500. So yeah, that's not a bad deal whatsoever. And closing costs $1119, $936. This is why I like coming back in and doing this on the site. Is we actually get to come through, and I keep screaming from the rooftop, you guys have the best site in all of DVC.
Oh, thanks.
And so, and I know it's getting better because like y'all have teased me on this one. Like y'all have teased me with the site's
getting better. It's gonna get better.
And you can't do that to a nerd, Dani. Like you can't.
You're gonna love it.
You know, a nerd that's like, this website's getting better and you can't see it. Like that's
no, you are the person we want to tell. You're the one that appreciates it.
I think a lot of listeners do as well. I hear that feedback from a lot of people. Like they start doing their DVC research and they just stick like glue to your site because everything is so easy. Like when you're buying, you're doing research, you've got everything here from, you know, annual dues, deed expirations, point calculator, make an offer, like meet with an agent. That's a new thing where you could schedule a Zoom meeting with you guys.
Yeah, I just had one earlier today.
Yeah. And then all of your other little features and things that you offer here, like discount WDW tickets, discount Orlando tickets to Universal.
Yeah.
So yeah. Fun times there, Dani. And so, okay. I think we've covered our main things. Basically the market is stabilized in prices. By my nerdy math, the average price is down $150 per resort in October, but it has a standard deviation of 281. So is it down? It's just within normal deviation.
I
just
think
happens
we'll see a little bit of a drop next month.
It could be. We typically do. So especially because next month we will find out, or I guess sometime this month, we'll find out what the estimated dues are going to be.
Yeah.
And then next month, they finalize those numbers. Spoiler alert, they rarely ever change. And then, but the due statements come out next month. And there's nothing that drives a listing like an annual due statement. It's the only known cure to add-onitis is the due statement and the inoculation you get from that.
But it's funny, we all have a little bit of amnesia because it only affects us for a couple months and then we forget about the dues.
That's going on. And so we've got a question here from so Stephen Roberts says he's asking about the $500 down promotion.
Okay.
And instead of paying the $3,000 plus closing costs, are they just rolled into the loan, or is it some form of a discount?
Instead of paying the $3,000 plus closing costs, are they just rolled into No, the seller is covering it for you.
So, okay. Yeah. So it's kind of negotiated into your contract like that.
Yeah, the closing costs are rolled in, I believe, but the seller's covering the down payment for you.
Yeah, I think you need to go into one of those listings and drill down into it and look at it as to exactly how the math is there. But the good news is it's all there, and it's definitely all there as well. And I know this thing just came out, like literally I saw it on the website today and I noticed that it's new. And I was like, oh, Dani, we have to cover that. And you were like, oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. And so Stephen comes back in and says, that's pretty cool as well.
But all the details are on the specific listing. So you can, I think I have to check to make sure it's all updated on that finance page. It will be in the next couple of days. Like Chad said, I mean, this is just brand new. So it will all be updated there. If you click on the financing details, it should break it all down for you. But all of the details, if you scroll down a bit.
Let me see. I got to find that window, the actual window, and go. So here, right? And we're looking at this.
But if you go back to the last page.
This is the no credit check and show details, right?
Let me look at it on my end here real quick.
So there's and you're seeing it as a discount right here. Finance closing cost negative 1380, 68. So additional financing fees, $297. That's kind of their traditional, like it costs like $200 to record a deed here in Orange County. So yeah, I get that. And mortgage satisfaction recording fees. It costs a little bit more when there's a lien on it as well, which is why you're seeing that money there.
Yeah. So if you go to the, and only one of these per household, only one of these purchases per household. If you go to the page before.
Okay. So scroll, go back.
Yeah. And then scroll down.
Okay.
Yeah. Here. This paragraph here is going to kind of break it all down for you.
Yeah, so it's when financed through Monera with the no credit check loan option on a 12-year term, right? The regular monthly payments begin as normal once closed and transferred. Yeah. So, and then you'll get an actual detailed lender estimate upon applications, because these are just kind of estimates. They're really good estimates if I remember correctly.
They actually overestimate a little bit usually just to be safe.
Yeah. But you'll get the exact when you come back in, and Dani can help you work through all of that as well. I don't want to get too far into the weeds with it, but I think it's a fair program for the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. It's for the person that is just like, look, I've been wanting to join for a long time, but I just can't come up with all of that at once. Maybe you budget different, maybe you budget monthly or whatever that might look like for you. We've done something like this in the past and it was so successful. I had so many clients just say, thank you so much for doing this. I never would have been able to join if it wasn't for a program like this. It's been extremely successful in the past. So we listen to everything that you guys say and definitely, brought it back to help those folks.
Yeah, well, that's the great part because it's all the same company now. Monera,
Yeah,
DVC Resale Market, the rental store, it's all under kind of one umbrella. So you guys can really listen to the market and then come up with solutions that the market is asking for. And
exactly.
that's kind of the magic in all of this is you've kind of got a lot more levers to pull and a lot more things under your control
Yeah.
and a lot more abilities to put a deal together and make it happen.
And we get to talk to you guys every day. So we're
Yeah.
always listening to you
Yeah.
and we want to bring you what you want.
Yeah. And so speaking of that, Dani, let's come back in and drop this where I get to do my little pointy thing down here below. Dani at dvcresalemarket.com, 954-257-2425. And
Yeah, and I
Dani, sure.
always tell people the best way to reach me, you can email me, don't get me wrong, but fastest way to reach me, because I always have this thing in my hand, is just text me. Text me if you have any questions, you need anything, you can text me 7 days a week, anything that you need. Please feel free to reach out. Any questions that you have, I'm here for you.
Yeah. And just again, for the audio only people, that is 954-257-2425. I just make it a habit of repeating everything because believe it or not, like our numbers explode on the audio only podcast. We're doing this live. It's in Facebook. It's in YouTube. We pick up some views that way, but we're primarily an audio podcast show, and that's where our numbers are huge. So
Well, I get it. I listen to podcasts on every single drive. So I
yeah,
totally get it. It's my favorite especially when I'm doing like next week when I drive to Orlando, I will definitely be listening to podcasts.
yeah, yeah. It's a great way to do this because it can download. If you go through a bad cell reception, whatever, you've already got the little file on your phone.
It's like
And
you're catching up with old friends.
mhm,
Like that's what I feel like because all these podcasts, they're just like
yeah, I
conversations
met
and
with the listener last night who was like, "Dude, you haven't dropped an episode in forever." And I'm like, "Well, I was a little slow this summer when I was like traveling and had some mouth issues and whatever else." But I'm like, "Man, I'm caught up, man. What's going on with your podcast player?" Sure enough, he had the pause button hit. And so he just kind of like paused the show for a while and it wasn't downloading. So he was like, "Oh,
he was
well,
having withdrawals.
yeah, he goes, now I
That's
know
so
what I'm
cool.
listening to on my way back to Texas." So yeah, all good, all good. But
That's awesome.
that's the beauty of podcasting and all of this as well.
Yes,
And
so
so
fun.
yeah, Carissa says thank you, and she
Oh,
loves Dani's enthusiasm. Dani is always an awesome guest to have on the show and an awesome person to hang out with. I just got to say that.
oh,
So
thank you. I feel the same way about you.
yeah. So and when you get all settled back in the Florida again over there on the West Coast, Dani, I got to come see
You
you.
mean when
That's
I'm not homeless?
yeah, when you're
You
not
guys,
homeless
my
between
house got
hurricanes.
destroyed from the hurricane. Not just one, but two of them. It's been so crazy over here. So it's so nice. It's been so nice to catch up with you again. I'm happy to be back. I've been trying to get back on the podcast for the past like 2 months, but it's just been absolutely
It was hurricane
crazy.
after hurricane. It was like,
Oh my
Dani, you're still
gosh.
up. Dani, you're still up. Like, okay.
I'm like, I need a break. No more hurricanes, please. When's the
Yeah.
end of the hurricane season? Like the end of the month, I think. We have like
I
a little bit.
think it's like in November,
I
technically.
can't
Yeah.
take anymore. I'm done. I'm tapping out. No more. But it's all good. It's all
Yep.
good. But I hopefully I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Yeah. If you're
Cool.
coming to town, definitely look me up. We're definitely going to be putting some meetups together. So always be
Yeah.
checking into the My DVC Points community on Facebook. That's our Facebook group. We do most of our posts there, very little on the public page. So, and if you want to join the group, just please answer all the questions.
Yeah.
And they're simple questions like, what's your favorite Disney restaurant and why? And we're not looking for anything specific other than the fact that you're a legit Disney fan. And because, like, if you don't have a favorite Disney restaurant here, you probably shouldn't really be buying DVC. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me one of them that you like and something about
Or
it.
one that you aspire to go to.
Yeah, something. Just anything that shows me you're a real fan and you're not going to be a spammer that we're going to have to kick out of the group
You're
because,
not a robot.
yeah, you're not a robot. You're not a spammer. You're not whatever. So, yeah. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us, Dani. Dani at dvcresalemarket.com, 949-257-2425. She can handle all of your buying, selling needs and answer any general DVC questions you have. So thanks so much for joining us today, Dani.
Thanks for having me. Bye, guys. See you soon.
Yeah. So thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Good night.